warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We are from Mathematics Education Class 2F. Now, we won't tell you about motivational speech.
I hope you guys enjoy this video and keep on watching.
%26%. On the national report part, that the percentage you below 12th grader for proficient in math. In America, we had everything as an exceptional country, but the 26% sound exceptional. Do you? Raise your hand if you think as the country we need to do way better than this. I'm with you.
We all need math, but why are so many kids confused by it? Is it because only 26% of people are hardwired for math, while 74% are not? After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this isn't the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we've been teaching it as a dehumanized subject. But if we make math human again, it will start to make sense again. You're probably wondering, how was math ever human in the first place? So think about it. Math is a human language just like English, Spanish, or Chinese because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in ancient times, people needed the language of math to conduct trade, to build monuments, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math as a language isn't exactly new. A great philosopher once said, "The laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agrees with me. Somewhere along the line, we've taken this language of math which is about the real world around us, and we've abstracted it beyond recognition. And that's why kids are confused. Let me show you what I mean. Read this third grade Californian math standard and see if it would make sense to an 8-year-old. Understand a fraction 1 over b as the quantity formed by one part when a whole is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand a fraction a over b as the quantity formed by a parts of size 1 over b. And if you gave this description to an 8-year-old, you'd probably get a reaction like this. To a math expert, this standard makes sense. But to a kid, it's absolute torture. I choose this example specifically because the fractions are foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So if kids don't understand fraction in elementary and middle school, they've got a tough road ahead of them in high school. But is there a way to make fractions simple and easy for kids to understand? Yes, just remember that math is a language and use that to your advantage. For example, when I teach 5th grader how to add and subtract fraction, I start with the apples plus apples lesson. First I ask, what's 1 apple plus 1 apple? And kids will often say 2, which is partially correct. Have them include the word as well, since math is a language, so it's not just 2, it's 2 apples. Next is 3 pencils plus 2 pencils. You all know that pencil plus pencils give you pencils. So everyone, how many pencils? 5 pencils is right, and the key is you include the words. I tried this lesson with my 5-year-old niece once. After she added pencils and pencils, I asked her, what's 4 billion plus 1 billion? And my aunt overheard this and she scolded me. Are you crazy? She's in kindergarten. How's she supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? I'm daunted. My niece finishes counting, looks up and says, 5 billion? And I said, that's right, it is 5 billion. My aunt just shook her head and laughed because she didn't expect it from a 5-year-old. But all you have to do is take a language approach and math becomes intuitive and easy to understand. Then I asked her a question that kindergartner definitely not supposed to know. What's 1/3 plus 1/3? And immediately she answered 2/3. So if you're wondering how could she possibly know that when she doesn't know about the numerators and denominators yet, you see, she wasn't thinking about numerators and denominators. She thought of the problem this way. And she used 1 apple plus 1 apple as her analogy to understand 1/3 plus 1/3. So if even a kindergartner can add fractions, you'd better believe that every 5th grader can do it as well.
Just for fun, I asked her an algebra question. What's 7x squared plus 2x squared? And then the 5-year correct she answered, 9x squared. And she didn't any exponent rules to figure that it out. So when the people say that we are either wired or not, it's not true. Math is a human language, so we have all the ability to understand this. We need to take a language approach to math urgently, because too many kids are lost, and they are insane about math, and it doesn't have to be the way. I work with an angry, frustrated high school student one who couldn't pass the algebra, because she only knew 44% of the multiplication text. I've told her there's such a kind of read only knowing the 44% of alphabet, holding me back. She couldn't pass her or public relation, and she had no confidence in math. As the result, this teenager had no confidence in herself. I've told her we have to start with the multiplication, because one thing all of you have with your part, everything get easier, and they will be having a flashback every happy ride in Disneyland. What do you think? And she said, okay. So systematically learn the timetable in 4 weeks. And yes, even a multiplication has the language in better than that. You'll be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7 times 3. We just mean 3 7 times. Just like this. So when kids see this way, they quickly realize that the repetition is slow and inconvenient. So they grab the memories that 3 7 times all the way to 21. The further teenager would all tricks to dropping out, becoming fluent and confident in multiplication with the game changer, because for the first time, she can focus on the problem solving instead of counting on the finger. I knew she's at the corner when she's figured out that 2 years earlier, $445 a month would cost you $10,680. And she's looking at me disapprovingly and said, it's a polish sock, that's expensive. At that moment, not having wonder causing problem for her, but she looked giving a math solved problem as the reason to adult. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to be tired, so I leave you with this challenge. Our country is stuck at 26% provision, and I challenge you to pass the number higher. This is important because mathematical thinking not only build young mind, but our kids need it to imagine and build their future. Meaning this challenge can be as simple as apples plus apples. Insist that we teach math the human language, and we will get this sooner rather than later. Thank you.